Hello guys, my name is Nine and welcome back to another video. Before we actually get into today's video, if you guys are new to my channel at all, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. It greatly helps everything that I'm doing here. And now obviously, let's get on to the cost and the upkeep. So here, looking at the cost of the base, we are looking at 54k stone, 65k metal frags, and 335 high qual. Remember, every door, deployable, and everything is placed in this total cost, so lots of garage doors down in that. Looking at the upkeep, a very reasonable 10k stone, 11k metal frags, and 71 high qual. Extremely cheap, even a solo duo could do it. So without further ado guys, let's actually get into a tour of the base, and then obviously we'll move on to the actual build. Love you guys, I'll see you there. Alrighty guys, before we actually start with the video, we are going to go on a little tour of the base. So starting at any one of our four externals, they're all very cheap. They're all about the same price, but expect $1,000 a day, which in reality is absolutely nothing. They're Masonry disconnectables. If you don't know how to do it by now, you disconnect by placing this twig roof like so, and then coming back and replacing these triangle frames, you're connected back up. Okay, closing this back up. On this base there are 4 gatehouse type areas. These two are actual gatehouses with simple peeks into compound and simple peeks out. Obviously they're nothing much, they're just to deter door campers, you know, that kind of stuff. Entering into our compound, you'll see that we have turrets guarding on every side. Obviously there's one on the other side of the base, but over there. And continuing through, before we actually go up into the base, you see you have room for large furnaces, deployables, whatever you want. Instead, on these other sides, I have these airlocks that also go outside. There's no windows or anything for these, but there is, through this garage door, a simple little bedroom with a simple beacon compound. And the reason I opted for the single door leading out of the compound is sometimes there'll be raiders stuck here and holding your door. And at this point, if you spawn here, you're kind of trapped and not in a good position. So if there are raiders on the other side of these doors, you can simply come out the outside and flank. And the opportunity is good, as you might know. Now there's multiple entrances into base. Obviously I have these wood ramps that are actually leading up to here, but you could just alternate it for a ladder. You just place a ladder like over here like this. Obviously it's all personal preference based on your terrain and all that stuff. It's just how we're doing it. But going up this ramp here, you'll see that we have a little airlock here created by this double door. And it's the same on both sides. And yeah, so up and to our left will be our open core. So as you can see, we have some drop boxes and all that. Up and to our right will lead to our core peak. So I'm actually going to run through the open core real quick. I'll give you a little sneak peek of that. Down into our starter. So obviously that side didn't have the entrance, but this side does have our entrance to starter. It's just a super simple 2x1 starter. TC's over here in this corner, like so. There's your main upkeep. So as you can tell, it's super cheap upkeep in the space. 8 large boxes of storage. You can obviously remove one of these shelves in here and add more furnaces if you need. Tier 3, a few of your sleeping bags. You can obviously fit more in the airlock, whatever you want. Super simple. And then furnaces to keep cooking. Jumping up to the next level, we'll get another look at these open core. There are these nice little ankle biter peaks, we'll call them. So if and when someone is standing right here, you really can't see onto these peaks. So if someone's behind where my crosshair is over here, it is very hard for them to kill you. So if you see this back to here, let's say this door is closed, like this, and they're standing here looting, they can't actually see you. These are entirely practically one-way angles because of this little wall right there. And obviously 2 nice big open core loot rooms. We have 8 large boxes in each. It's 16 boxes. This base is utilizing a lot of split loot, but this is just for your best loot that is also protected by the core peak turrets. Okay, going up to the next level, you'll see that we have a little drop box loot room. This is nice if you want to split some loot to each of the corners of the base. There's obviously one on the other side, on the other side of those walls over there. But it's just nice depot loot if you're coming down from the top as well. Going up further, you'll see that we have our core peak floor. This is where we house our batteries, turrets, lockers. You get the deal. Tons of bedrooms, or beds rather. Just tons of space for you and your group to spawn in. It also has 2 ways out on the shooting floor, which are immediately guarded by this turret. Let's show to each side, and as you can see here, very nice angles onto compound, per usual. Nice in-between angles on these, yet again. And there's no blind spots in this entire compound, like, as you can tell, we're all good here. Pair this with some door peaks. I like to switch it up. And then obviously more turrets here, so we have 4 turrets covering the entire shooting floor. And it's just the same thing all the way around. As you can see, it's mirrored. Yep. This also houses or roof peaks. They're super simple, but they'll cover our entire roof. There isn't any real blind spots. The only real blind spot you might have is above here, but you can just flank them, come out this door, you know the deal. You'll be fine in reality. Come up here, we have 2 roof exits. Apologies about the lag there. I have windows here if you want to put vending machines for shops, but personally I would use these vending machine bunkers. These are console friendly, you can use these on console. If you don't know how to upgrade these, or open them rather, not upgrade, you take a roof and stand behind like this, and place that twig. Jump up here, open the vending machine, break the twig, it's sealed. Also on roof we have 2 bedrooms. You could fit 2 beds in here, but I actually prefer just tons of storage for seal mats, all that stuff, in 1 bed. And then you have turrets above. 2 turrets will cover practically the entire roof. As you can tell, basically every angle on this entire thing is covered by any one of these turrets. So yeah. And then I personally have 2 windmills on the space right now because it's all you really need for the amount of turrets that I've shown in this base. But if you want, you can actually put more windmills either off these spots right here, just straight up, or anywhere, you know, just to give yourself more windmills if you do happen to spam more than 18 turrets. So without further ado, we're gonna continue going through on the actual video. We'll be going on to the build now, I assume. So I'll see you guys there. Okay guys, before we actually get started with the build of the base, I know some of you like to see the footprint. So here it is. This inner 2x1 plus these triangles that I'm showing here is our starter unit, okay? These are our open core loot rooms. These are our entrances. And as you can see, we have a nice and simple wide gap shooting floor on here. It's kind of similar to a Warrior 3x1 or any of those kinds of designs, as it is just an expanded version of it to allow for honeycomb, open core, all that stuff. And then obviously, as you see here as well, masonry disconnectables, and a little bit of our gatehouses, which are these triangles. I've done something a little unique with those this time. So without further ado, let's actually get down to building the thing. So I'll wipe the island here and let's get going. So to actually build the starter, I'm going to be using symmetry, a good bit of build grade just to save time in the whole video and all that. So if you are having trouble, please slow down the video at any point in time. I understand. And also let me know any questions, comments, concerns you have in the comments. Okay, starting off here with our 2x1 starter. We're going to do a little bit of an expanded 2x1. Adding single doors here for our airlock. So you can live out the starter for a good amount of time as you have a lot of space in it. It's not something you need to instantly expand as it's decently defendable and all that. Make sure to add this shelf in first, like so. Okay, these ramps aren't necessary, but it's personal preference. If you want ramps just to honeycomb from that side, it's all up to you. And then adding boxes, like so. Should be able to access TC there, perfect. Apologies, I'll show that again. Nice and easy. Obviously, glass window that off if you are in any dire situation. 2, furnace, and then your 3 main sleeping bags. You can obviously fit one in the airlock too, but it's all personal preference. So it is obviously very small, but it is a starter unit, let's be honest. 8 large boxes of space, plus however small as you want to fit in here, isn't half bad for the cost. So, going out and expanding our starter like so, we will add 2 triangles, wall them in, and this is basically just a typical starter, but we're going to do some weird stuff in a second here. So, adding a window here, a wall above, half wall in there, making sure to leave this triangle open, adding a double door. Now, if you have the BP, just throw a glass window in here now, just so this angle really can't be used against you. But eventually, we're going to want to throw an embrasure like so on here. Okay? So, coming over here, I'm going to mirror that on this side, just so it's symmetrical. Like so. Apologies for the lag that I'm having right now. Like so. So that is practically the entire starter unit. Obviously, I haven't shown ways up to the roof. or any of that, but I'll show that in a second. So going on to our expansion, I'm going to turn symmetry here just so I can honeycomb the space way easier. I'll show it to you very slowly. We're going to do squares off of our square, like so. And then triangles off of these two sides, and then square off of here, like so. And as you can see, that is the footprint. Obviously it's not done, we still got expanded and all that, but we're going to honeycomb in the triangles on both sides, and honeycomb in the squares here. So the square that I'm talking about here is from this double door that came out. Honeycomb this square. Okay. And then we'll come over and honeycomb this square as well. Now at this point, if you haven't already, I suggest upgrading the roof tiles above, like so, to sheet metal, at least. I suggest if you do have the resources, high qualities is never a bad idea. And you don't have to high qual all of it. I'd really just say you would want to high qual above your main room right here in your TC, right here, and this little area. So these spots can stay sheet metal. This is probably the most effective upgrade path that you'll have for now. And then obviously adding garage doors and all that will also just be a huge help. So we're toggling on symmetry, we're going to keep building the actual base. So this is actually our entrance right here. So we're going to put our 2 single doors, our window, and everything like so. You can obviously put your embrasures and all that stuff up. Now this is a little bit of the fun part. If you have a ladder, this is a great spot for it. Otherwise, if you do not have a ladder, jump over in wood and make a small jump up onto it. So I would do something like this. And then when it's time to get rid of this, this is obviously acting as a temporary jump up if you don't have a ladder, because we're going to be doing our jump up off the wide gap. So just doing something like this will be a nice and easy way for you to have some nice way up to roof rather. So this can be done. Otherwise, if you have stone barricades for all you know, an oil refinery could technically go here. Whatever works is kind of a temporary solution, okay? And obviously we'll destroy this later. Okay. Continuing on with the build, we're gonna sheet metal this. Apologies for the little bugs I'm having here. These walls are gonna be sheet metal from now on, like this. Okay. If you have the resources right away, it's always good to sheet metal these walls. Too high going up with half wall like so. But if not, there's no issue. Gathering our double door path, half wall in the middle, and a ramp down here. Okay. Expand this up further. Sheet metal these walls. This little drop box room. You don't have to put the ramps in here yet again. You can just throw your boxes in here, like so. Ramp is technically not needed because we're just putting a window frame in front of this, just to stop. It's just depot space, nothing special. Okay. Expanding up again. So, if you forget to place the shelf, you can just do this. I'm going higher. Capping off a good amount of the roof. Like so, we're going to use these frames. Going one higher. Like so. This will also be our jump up to roof, so we're just going to leave it open on top. But placing double doors up here for now will be good until we expand onto this little section like so. Okay. And this just gives you kind of like 2 ways up. And you can obviously double door this off so you have multiple exits out of your roof, which is always nice. Jumping back down into our open core, placing our double door frame and our piece like this. And then I'm going to fly up here, so apologies. We'll come up here and place our ramp. And sheet metalling this right away is always advantageous. Okay. Coming back inside here, place a lowered ramp by standing where I am. Sometimes it's a little funky, but it usually should place pretty easily. And then a twig floor here, place a twig triangle through the wall, like so. Saw that, I'll show that again. It destroys. There we go. Like that. You can place it later, just straight through the wall. I gotta do it one more time. Apologies, I have a little bit of an internet bug. And then sheet metalling this connection. And then replacing that because I clicked the wrong button. Okay. Obviously, boom, open core lit room. You can fit 8 boxes in here. I'll show how to place those boxes in a bit. But furthermore, we're gonna come outside and finish the honeycomb on the base. Triangle, triangle, triangle. off this square. If you do have the resources and can do it, sheet metaling this bottom part is really nice. And then taking this like this, and honeycombing this straight up. There's no need for like half walls or anything in here. Literally just building these guys up to the desired height. Like no need for half walls or walls in the middle. It's not really going to give them any more control. Like it's just a waste of upkeep. And then sealing this off like so. And I like to sheet metal all these just so it's good on stability wise. As you can see, we're pretty much almost done with the entire main starter. Double door frames here. Walling in these sections like so. I like to sheet metal this entire section if you have the resources, as this is going to be housing batteries, lockers, and all that fun stuff that's really needed for raid defense. So flying in here. Double door frame here. I personally am going to be putting a garage door on this today. You can obviously put a window, but I've just been finding it easier on actual wipes to use garage doors on these sections. Nice little bug there. This turret is pretty easy to place. Just place it like I do here. It's not very difficult because it's got a lot of room to look through. And then placing my locker. Wood. Okay. Adding a few more deployables. I add extra lockers here. You don't have to put these lockers here. You can just like put beds. But here, I'll show you what that looks like. Just like that. Pretty simple, but obviously you can put a locker on as well. Personal preference, yet again. Okay. Let's make the roof exit. Breaking this one. Should be up. Gonna sheet metal that wall. Boom. Grab your embrasures, whatever is used. So, this is the entire starter unit of the base done. Okay, guys? Okay, now that we are done with the entire starter unit, we are going to start wide gapping the entire base. Obviously, we haven't added all the doors and all this stuff on the inside yet, but we will get to that later, as it's just do it at your own pace. You guys know how to do that at this point, I hope. So, we don't have to destroy this jump up yet, but we will have to in a second. But to show how this is built, you simply build 3 triangles out, or 3 squares out rather. Coming back with triangles, like so. Square, triangle, triangle. And I'll sheet metal this to show. You can remove this wood now. Best way to do that is with some salvage tools or whatever works in reality. Now, once we're to this point, what we're going to do, this is our wide gap here, just to make sure it does not decay, because I know people have this issue. Place the frames like I do here. Frame here, frame here, frame here, frame here. Okay? And frame here, frame here. Okay? Do this, otherwise, if you leave off this right here, this triangle will decay. I know people have a lot of questions about that, so I'm trying to be thorough on that. Okay. Adding 1 square with 3 triangles. I will personally upgrade this square to sheet metal and put a sheet metal double door frame here, followed by my 2 single doors, because that's how this entrance is going to be, and my garage door spot there. Okay. Sheet metaling these just to keep it all thorough. And then doing our mandatory disconnectable, which I'll do out of twig. Placing 4 triangles, 1 square. I like to upgrade this to wood just so I always have that there. And then 3 or 2 more triangles is all that's really needed. Sheet metal stone. Now to make the actual disconnectable, 2 half walls, 1 full wall, and then I can make 2 more areas like this. Obviously, you can beef these externals up or change them to however you'd like. However, I'm just doing very basic 2 garage door. You can obviously add another triangle here and put another single door to add to make it 8 rockets. It's personal preference. This twig can now be destroyed like so. Sheet metal this back wall like so. And I also like to sheet metal this top if you can, just so it's 8 rockets from both sides. Triangle, triangle, square, triangle, triangle. Placing like so will be easy. This is all connected, by the way, right now. So if you were to remove the square, it's technically fine, but the reason we're leaving the square in here is this will become a turret angle, because we're just gonna throw a turret like right here, facing towards the base. Okay? And obviously, if you haven't had your way back into base yet, placing your ramp like so on both sides is now your entrance back into base. Okay? I'm gonna show you how you properly upgrade up on the shooting point. So, and obviously you got to mirror this so it's the same on both sides and all that. And I'll take a second to add just a few more doors, just so it looks a little more right for all of us. That looks good. Now obviously we gotta do the other side of our externals here. So we're going to be building out a twig here, very important. 3 triangles, 3 squares, coming back with triangles yet again, and breaking the build up. This is what you're looking for, these 3 triangles off this point. Okay. And then to get this one, square, triangle, square, triangle. And I'll just sheet metal these because keep it fluent with how the rest of the base is looking. And then to make sure this doesn't decay, frames like such. Okay. And now obviously got to make the external TC so we don't decay. So here we are. This one's pretty simple. You go 1 triangle, 3 triangles, like so. Okay. And then turning this into a gatehouse, like so. As you can tell, it's a very close compound. We're trying to make this thing very cheap. And then same thing as before with our other mandatory disconnectable, like so. And I'm obviously blasting through this as we've already done it once for you guys, just showing that we're doing it again so you don't forget. 2 garage doors and your TC. Perfect. Bring that build out and coming back with your connection. Perfect. So we're gonna quickly do the compound real quick, as at this point you're ready to check it up and it's really easy to do. So from any of these sides, you're literally just gonna go, we're gonna start off on this ramp side just to make it easy for you guys. Coming off of here, place the wall like I do. Come over to the other side, place the wall like I do. It's basically just straight off, I believe. Yep. And then your wall should fit in between like so. And obviously it takes a little practice, so this is something really nice to practice on a build server beforehand, so you have a perfect compound. Because who doesn't like a perfect compound? You can actually edge it in a little bit to the right, I believe, or a little bit to the left, I believe. Yep. Not like that. Like this a little bit. Okay. And this one a little bit to the right. Like edge it in just a little bit, like tilt, like turn it a little bit to the right, kind of. Okay. And then yeah, okay. So this is pretty darn good. I mean, you can get better, obviously. Like look a little bit better just by like replacing it like that. But obviously you won't be able to do that on a real server. But it's a 12 wall compound, so it's extraordinarily cheap. So there's no really like downside to having a compound this cheap. It's just super cheap, super efficient. It's all you really need. Like little gaps like this aren't gonna hurt anyone. Little gaps like that aren't gonna hurt anyone. I'm actually gonna replace this just for my sanity. Because a little gap like that, you're basically fine. You're never gonna worry about that. And then each one. So this is, pretend this is twig because I misplaced it as such. Get our metal barricades on, like so. Come up and destroy these. Boom, look at those. Very well done. Same thing over here. Make sure to place this metal piece here. By the way, you forget this. This will not be connected. This needs to be connected like so. Apologies about that. Placing this twig just to give us a nice easy build around. Boom and boom. Okay. Okay. As you can tell, super simple, super nice. You're gonna be able to fit 4 largies easily in this space. You can obviously fit more, but I'm not expecting you guys to be like getting a million, but like as you can tell, you can fit 2 sets of largies per section. With such small compounds, just flawless. So if you want to do double up, obviously I only showed 4 in the tour, and the reason for that was it looks better cinematically. It just looks a little cramped. So you can fit up to 4, but it's gonna be a little more cramped. I'm gonna place this twig just to give myself a good lineup. Yeah, it's gonna be a little more cramped, but you can easily fit 8 large furnaces in compound, which is more than enough. Okay, so building this thing up, we're building these sides up to the desired. So, and I'll show you guys from the outside in just a second here what this looks like. Okay, building up, and I'm just doing it efficiently, so it doesn't matter what gets rocketed, you'll be fine. Okay, windows on these guys, half wall, then windows with a single door frame here. This will be a nice little turret spot, and I'll throw this down right now. Double door frames like here, sealing this off, paired with everything like so. Now obviously add those embrasures in. Don't be lazy, get them on. Over here, add 2 double door frames. And we're just gonna leave this stone for now because it really doesn't matter. And like so. Okay, next part, switching back over to sheet metal. Build these guys too high. Built this guy too high. Now grab stone. This is the part where it differs. Half walls here. Doorways, if you can't do this because of terrain, then you have to raise these foundations in the bottom. Just do them as normal windows. It'll be fine. There's no worries about it. And then personally, I like to grab more double door frames just for stability and raise this all the way up, as you can see there. And then here, these will be off of the main base, and then we'll put our windows like so. Okay. And building this up very nicely. And yeah, again, just another turret angle right here. And then the single door area right there. Coming through and finishing this like so. Nice and easy. Half walls on top of here. This is that bedroom. Talk about on roof and our little cover turrets by using these roofs like so. Nice. To place our roofs on this area, I like to jump on top of this triangle. Just jump up here like this, and then look straight up until it eventually snaps into this spot. And then the rest of this roof is really easy. You just put roofs on it. Square roofs, don't use triangles. Make sure you use squares. And then sometimes you can fall through this area, and you're not supposed to be able to fall. Oh wait, apologies, that's why. Okay. Right here, instead of falling through the area, because it likes to do this to you, you can either do this like so, which is one option, or what you can do is you can simply put a double door frame here like so, and most likely this is not going to fall. You'll be fine. But what's also nice about this, so it's obviously, like I said, kind of like personal preference before, because you put a double door frame here and it stops you. So like, I suggest either one of two things. Either you put it off of here, off of main TC, but I don't think that's as good. You put it off of here and you grab a double door and you swing it like that. Now I'm gonna do this to the other side too. So apologies about a little half mistake, but it's nothing really. So you can get pushed through here, but if they're already on your roof and already have taken out these turrets and stuff and they're pushing and shooting for it, you have another issue. But also, you still have turrets on here. You should be fine. Okay. Next part is showing how to do these windmills. So windmills are pretty easy. I just want you to come off this square, build 3 high. Apologies for doing the wrong thing. Triangles like so. Okay. A little fast though. Jump up here, grab your windmill, and place. If you need more windmills, like I said before, this square right here, it's not going to look pretty, but you can build this square straight up, like so. Sometimes it screws up and does some fun stuff there. But you should... Nope, I have lied. I do this every video. I really do apologize on this, guys. The best otherwise spot to do it Okay. You see, I test things for you guys beforehand and then forget what I tested. So, apologies. You can fit one right here. You should be able to already. There we go. Okay. So you can do it straight off the gatehouse if you really, really need more power. Like you can just do them off of your externals at the point. It's personal preference, guys. I don't see a base this big having more than 18 turrets though. So these 2 windmills plus some solars will be fine. Okay. The last thing to add on a roof is our vending machine bunkers. These are console friendly. You can use them on console. And yeah. So just place a sheet metal wall facing this way. Like so. Grab your vending machine and push it as close to this wall as possible. You see I'm shoving it as close and in the middle as possible. Boom. You can use these as shops because it's then 8 rocket shops on your roof, which are, you know, always very nice. And open, you just grab a twig roof because right now it's closed. Twig roof, open. Bunker. Break. Can't loot. Beautiful, right? Okay, so that about does it for the entire base build. That went really fast, guys. So before we actually end the video, I'm going to go show all the inner deployable placement, where and what to upgrade stuff. So if you guys don't care about any of that, you can just go build the base, enjoy it. But if you do need to see how to upgrade everything, we're going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm actually going to be toggling symmetry off after I do this loot room. But to start, we're just going to be placing some doors and stuff. So garage doors on these 2 sockets are always very nice, same with this one. Just to give you a nice door path into open core. Obviously placing drop boxes, always a good idea. Yeah, you can't actually loot these from this side, not really at least, you might be able to. Not very well, obviously. So, when you place these open core loot rooms, grab these front boxes and pull them as close to you as possible, like so. And these guys go as far right and as far back as possible, and then as far left as possible. Same with this one, as far back and as far left as possible. You'll get the hang of it. And then I like to grab this guy, throw it in here, as you can see. All very easy to access. And then this top one, I sometimes have trouble placing. Also, this garage door needs to be placed before that large box. Apologies about that. Should not harm you too much. Triangle here. This is just for the placement of this box to make it easier. Boom. Embrasure up here. I personally don't like leaving this embrasure open. I will always glass window this off. And then I will sheet metal these just to make them like harder to obtain and like get rid of that peak. Okay. This one still has a double door, so I'm going to toggle off symmetry and replace this garage door. But coming down here, we obviously need to upgrade our core because this thing's pretty not upgraded. So sheet metaling all these walls like so. Like so. If you hopefully have it by now. One single armor door, this is a great spot for it. Even another one, put it there, but the raid cost that I've calculated doesn't even need that. Sheet metaling all this stuff like so. Sheet metaling this back wall. Sheet metaling these walls. And then coming in. Now I'm using tools to do this. You're still able to reach most of the stuff from in this compartment. If you can't upgrade this triangle beforehand, before actually doing everything, it's always good. But worst case, don't worry too much about it. Obviously, I'm flying through things to get some of the upgrades, just to show you how you want to upgrade. There's other ways to do it. Coming in here, these are the things you want armored, like so. If you do have a very high amount of armor, I suggest each coming this wall, and this wall, and this wall. Okay. Same with then if you are rich, upgrade these. Get yourself your garages on. Move this bag to get this guy in here. And then picking up these boxes at whatever point to get a little more expensive than ATC. And obviously you could just garage door this room off here. You don't actually have to do it as a window. It's, yeah, personal preference. So I'm going to replace these boxes here. And we're going to seal this up. And obviously here's the main upkeep at this point upgraded. Like so. Okay. Very nice, very easily upgrade core. Obviously I removed the bag, but no big deal. Tier 3, by the way, can replace tier, but otherwise there's other spots for it always. You can either do a shelf in here, or I forgot to mention you can actually switch this for furnaces, but I think everyone knows that at this point. Coming up higher from the open core, I suggest sheet metaling this part right here, if it's not already. Toggling back on symmetry, I'm going to show you where to place doors. Garage door here, always nice. Sheet metal in between, coming up yet again. Sheet metal in these walls. Just our jump ups are always expensive. Okay. Coming up to here, garage dooring like so, just to make our core peaks kind of expensive to reach. I even like to split them off, a little bit more garage door in the middle. One more garage door to roof, perfect. You have the double doors partitioned, single doors for this guy. You even have peaks up to that spot now that I think of it. And obviously you can swing this either way. Personal preference, like always. Okay. Coming up to roof, obviously deployables that are needed here that I suggest are glass windows on these frames. Coming down here, you have to place them from below. And getting your bedroom in here. Who doesn't need a bedroom with way too much storage? I'd fill this thing with 10 kits if I could. And I do, trust me. Double door, just for the ease of access. Perfect. Things to upgrade next is I like to sheet metal all these, like so. Just anything on roof, just to make it a little more expensive for reach. And then if we have the HQM, I like to HQM these parts like this. Just so the top is from HQM. It's always good to upgrade. And if you still are just rich in HQM, upgrade these back walls. You have to remove these boxes usually to get to them, but upgrading these walls are beautiful. Okay. Coming outside, the things that are really nice to actually upgrade in the space is the honeycomb on what would be our open core, so this HQM wall is. I know I'm flying through things and making it weird right now. But this side right here, this corner, I like to fully sheet metal this corner if at all possible. Because that is where our open core is, and we don't want them breaching from that side. We want them breaching from an actual raid perspective. We want them breaching right here. This right here gives us a million angles onto them, trust me. So yeah, going through, obviously still adding, upgrading, and giving all our stuff. I'm going to show you guys how to do this bedroom over here. This bedroom, place garage door first. Locker as far right and as far back as possible. You usually line it up with that bottom right line if you place the foundation proper. And then just placing your bed in here. Now, the bed doesn't matter too much for the placement, but I suggest placing it at a little bit of a wonky angle, like so. Because you want this garage door to cover as much of this little piece as possible. So you see that? That's perfect. It can still get hit here, but it's much harder to hit if it was like then, you know, the full foot was exposed. So that's perfect. Apologies for the little lag, just lagging back to the door. Turret angles is the last thing I believe we have to do. So placing turrets like so. Turrets there. Turrets there. Obviously these aren't covered. If you really just want to cover these, just do that. You'll be fine. Trust me. They're not the hardest. There's no turrets nowadays that can't be baited. Chinese method works too well. Going up into our open core. We're good on all of this deployables wise. Turrets up there into the core, as you can see. If you need a good spot for tier 3, I know it's gonna symmetry place 2 of them, but like this is always a nice little spot. Like so, you can always put like a a repair bench or a research table here. Or I'll just show like what would nice be like. Like boom, you got your tier 3 there, just for the ease of crafting. You know the deal. Upgrade that real quick. So going up here, drop boxes, we're good. And just checking that everything is properly upgraded. The area for all of our kits, we have our battery rooms. Our shooting floor is all good. We have good angles. There is officially nothing else to place in the base. So, if you guys did enjoy the video at all, please consider dropping a like, subscribing, all that stuff. It's always much appreciated. So, I will see you guys in the next one. I love you all. Goodbye.